You would have thought he'd already had his colostrum.
Probably not. She wouldn't have nothing.
So I just left them. Hopefully when I get back home, things are good. If not, I might take them on again.
Yeah, and then even pushing around. Probably put her in the chute.
What I'll do is separate them, have her right next to them, make her want him. Bro, here's what we ate. Calm them down a little bit.
Yeah. But I've never done that before. I would put them up in the chute and make the baby hit, or or I'll get in the type clean up in the stick, and next time she does it, I'll whack.
Yep.
I don't know. Sometimes that works.
Sometimes it does. I've done that too. But the A's, we usually do 5, 6, 6 A's.
I don't even keep any of that around. Probably not.
That's the only reason I use it.
What's your cat?
No, I've never done that.
Oh, okay. I've seen it done.
No, I was going to try to get out of here and go to Shorty's funeral, but
What time is that?
11.
Wait,
But I mean, now I got to get home and we'll make sure she ain't killed that cat.
That's what, 10:45?
Yeah, that's okay. I've already taught myself how to go on and just go home and take care of that cat.
Did you have heart problems? Is that what?
That's one of the problems.
For a while.
Yeah.
I'm not ready for that generation to start going yet.
Do what?
I'm not ready for that generation to start going yet. There's a time sheet for you. Oh, did you sign it already? Can't see nothing. Mike didn't sign it.
You don't usually sign it. Well, I get it. You know, sign it. Ask him what more you want me to do on there? You need to draw a star on it or something?
Just look at it.
First one.
Right, just like that.
What's that?
Perfect. Just like you got it. I don't have my phone behind you.
Here's the one you need to get there.
That's what I got.
It's a different size though. You've got a little square one. That's
You got the little one, like a regular phone charger. This makes a lot of difference.
We're gonna see that mine takes forever.
well, that little box, like you said, is making it quick.
Because I charged it this morning for an hour and a half and I'm only 20%.
You put that thing on there, 20, 30 minutes, I think. Facebook's full of
I'm
charge.
gonna have to have an extension for it. Did you guys keep that extension cord?
I don't know.
I bet you 20% it may last the whole thing. I would, because that last one we had, I could plug it in 30 minutes before I left and it's done. It takes nothing.
Do you want to use it? That charger?
They have to. I guess I'd start leaving it on for all night or something. Get one that works.
It's like,
Yeah, we won't be late. We won't be late.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
This is a abatement. After election.
Looks like, do you know anything about this abatement? Looks like maybe the city of Harper may have bought something or something.
BSD 361.
I don't know.
Was it 361 or city of
I
Harper?
said BSD 361. Tax unit 6. Yeah. What's this in here for?
That's for who?
Oh, it's getting the money back. City Harper. East Main Street.
Finish that. We approved that one last week.
It's like 1.4 acres and 2 acres.
Hey, Pam, on this AP right here, what are we looking at right here? This is the one we did last week, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's the one that you just have to sign.
This one, okay, so
Yep, and that's
what's this?
benefits.
It is? Well, done, if I can read, yeah. What
You
is
need
going
to-
on with my eyes today?
You need some glasses.
As soon as you said that, I saw
Usually
it.
I write benefits on there,
I
so
know.
I must have not, sorry.
I see it plain and clear right now, as soon as you said that. Okay, good.
I got a pair of readers I'll bring.
I've got some, Tracy, thanks.
The older we get.
It's getting worse.
He's got them, he just don't worry
I'm
about
up to a 2.0 now. And that just happened in the last 6 months.
See it going off.
Look at kind of a mess going on. I gotta go. What if I get up and trip over? See the cat and pay for my kid's college. All right, employee benefits for $167,640.80.
So moved.
All in favor?
You wanna ask about this?
I don't know what's going on, but that's up to you too.
Is it for Matt or Shelley or who do you need to talk to?
Matt?
Matt, probably on that one, yeah.
It's real estate, it's 1.4 acres of it. Here's the picture.
At least I do. I don't know. You may not care. It's not really even that big of a deal. One's $21 and one's $11.24. So
It's whatever.
what do you think, Jeff?
What was it? Tax abatement.
Hey, Hannah. This says handshakes printed due 23. Have Hannah come and explain new process.
Yes, those were never signed, and I don't know if you guys want to sign them, but district court sends down a spreadsheet and we print hand checks for their witness fees. So is that something that you guys do want to sign each time that they're done? We do them for
Yeah.
election also.
I'm reading this, what you say.
We haven't been doing it before, because we never signed each
I've
other.
done that in the past now. So these are our witness fees, and she wrote hand checks. She was just curious if we wanted to be signing those. I don't need to. I mean, I've been fine with all this time without. I don't know what these guys
Okay,
say.
Linda just wanted me to put it in there just to be on the safe side. So,
It's usually very minimal amounts.
yeah.
This is
it's
$38.72.
The biggest one will be election, and that's only once, maybe twice a year.
If you've never signed a problem, why would we get that?
Okay. You good with that?
I can take it and shred it in.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
But we do see
We
the
could
amounts,
ask.
right? We will see the amounts and checks are wrote for.
Yeah,
I
Again,
mean,
it's
I
such
can
a
give
small
you
deal. It
the
doesn't matter.
report so you guys can see how much they
I
are.
guess we could,
You wanna see how much the checks are wrote for, though?
Yeah. yeah.
Okay, all right, then I'll just put the reports
I
in
don't
there.
know when it
it's
signs
not
those,
on the agenda. Right.
It looks like.
but we got 10 minutes if he wants to come down and explain it or whatever.
Can you text him or whatever you guys do on your,
Yep.
please?
Yes.
I don't care about signing the checks, but I wanna see what they wrote for.
Yeah, well, you probably ought to, as long as our name's on it, you probably ought to see that. Okay, so there's some transfers. So this one, I want to figure out whose signature that is. Maybe one of you guys that has the readers on should tell me who that is. Whose signature is that?
That's Tracy's.
Is that yours?
I don't know. Might be.
What are you, a doctor now, Tracy? What's going on?
You pick it up, I can see it from here, I'll tell you if it's mine.
It was done on the 25th.
Tell me the description, he'll know what that is. If it was him.
It says contractual services, communication, telephone, internet.
No, that part right there, paid out of communication fund and should have been paid out of contractual service.
Can I look?
Shelley looks
Is that
like
your
a good
signature?
doctor, huh?
Yep, that's me.
That's your,
Is he like a doctor? Is he right?
Oh, that was
Get your name out of that. That's even worse than mine.
Is that Tracy's?
Yeah.
That's
Okay.
That was, she told me, our Verizon tracking,
Well, yeah.
and it was paid, and they wanted it It was paid out of this, and they said it needed to come out of this instead, so that's why I did it.
Okay.
All sympathetic, but.
We don't need.
If you could see anything Tracy or anything CH at, I could have got
Well,
it.
there's Dr. Hansel too, man.
That's me.
So, Dr. Hansel and Dr. Struble. You guys okay with that? Tracy's is $134.33. Right, prescriptions, isn't it?
And do we need to see what this
That's
is for?
Tracy's.
Yeah, I know.
You okay with
You
that?
have that, don't you?
Well, no, but I do, and I don't have a motion for it. But
Right.
I just need consensus.
Do we need to say how much it's for here? This is
But I don't need your signature on
Yeah, and
That's all right.
read that one out too.
CID grant from Madison Automotive was paid out of 18, should have been paid out of 37 for $4,172.
You okay with that, guys? The monthly one, the one you need motion
mine. Morning, Mike.
Good morning, how are you?
Good.
for. Okay. Is Matt here?
Yes.
Okay. Is he coming down?
Mhm.
Okay.
We'll get that, all that. 7 months in.
Hey, Matt.
Get up on your state, Tracy?
Yeah, make you walk clear downstairs.
It's all right.
Two little deals.
We
So they're both for the city of Harper. One's $11.24 and the other is,
Abatements, I take it?
yeah.
He's like, he's got, gets property back, 1 acre, and then
They filed for a BOTA exemption, and BOTA granted it, so I think they probably,
got him stuck.
yeah, I mean, well, what it is the city of Harper either bought some property or acquired some property that went,
I'm assuming that's the description there, right?
yeah, yeah. It looks like 1.4
4
acres and then two, yeah, so, and then they filed through BOTA and got an exemption because of their taxing authority status, so.
Okay. Looks like a negative $11.24. And do you need the track, Kelsey, or what do you want? Okay.
Nope.
So one of them's for negative $11.24. Can I get a motion for that one?
So moved.
All in favor? Aye. And then the other is a negative $21.48. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
Sorry to drag you.
We were
No,
just
well,
curious.
while I'm in here, and we're talking about exemptions, several months ago, you guys approved the one for the Patterson facility down here on Main Street with the new gym and all that.
Yeah.
The way it went through, you guys approved the amount showed up, but a check was never kept for it for some reason. I can get into what happened in the system, the way it was entered. It was clicked on as a BOTA exemption, which refunds the value, but not the tax amount. So it didn't generate a check because it just said, oh, well, the appraisers took this value off, but they still owe this tax. So we've been working with CIC, three different departments. Three different departments have been working with CIC to go back, put that back on, and then go back through and exempt it the right way so it will cut a check.
It's like a lot of,
It is, there's been 3 or 4 or 5 different conversations with CIC between the different departments. So that will probably be coming before you again. I just wanted to give you guys heads up. You've already approved it once, but this time we're doing it so it will actually give them their tax amount back. Yeah,
Check, too.
yes, it's a good sized check. So they've been calling. I've been working with
I bet they
them out
have,
there.
yeah.
So, yeah, she's called a couple times and I'm like, we're trying to get through our system. So, but that's, when that comes across, I'll come back down.
Okay.
But I just wanted to give you guys a heads up that it was in the works. Yep.
All right, thank you, Matt.
Anything else on there?
Well, I'll holler at you in about 2 minutes. How long does it take you to get upstairs?
so get up on your today?
Yeah.
Good, good.
Hey, Shonda, I've got one deal I want to make sure maybe we probably do a little bit better. The folks that when they tag on to different departments for those department updates or whatever they're doing, they probably ought to be on the agenda. And the reason I say that is, for instance, let's say just for like Shelley, when she comes in and presents something, and this is just my opinion, I don't know, I haven't talked to these guys, so I don't know what their thoughts are, but so if somebody wants to listen to what Shelley has to say with the CID grant or whatever, they probably need to be able to find that on the agenda.
Okay.
I haven't heard from anybody that's upset about that yet, but
They need to be
if they knew, I think there's potential for somebody to be upset that there's
Sure.
something not on the agenda, so.
Okay.
And it's sometimes not even a big deal, but yet, if somebody wants to see it, I think we.
Well, if somebody wanted to come and listen to her part of the agenda, if
Right.
it's not
Okay.
scheduled, then they don't.
Well, for like community development grants, that type of stuff, I can imagine somebody wants to know when that happened, because a year or so from now, somebody will wonder, well, how did they get that? They were never on the agenda,
Right.
so.
Okay,
anyway,
very good.
Just my thought. Minutes, did you guys get a chance to look over those? I'm trying to find those
On
two.
Bailey.
Yeah, Bailey sent those out on the 24th. There's one thing in there, Kelsey, I saw that there was a repeat,
I didn't see much that was wrong.
right there, Commissioner Struble motion to approve the addition of Shonda Larson.
What, is it on the first page or second page?
First page, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, the fifth little paragraph down.
Oh, I see it, okay.
That's on there, I saw.
I didn't see much of it. I didn't catch that, but then again.
That's the only thing I stepped on.
Okay.
Looked good.
Did you? Yeah, piece of, okay.
Well, he's supposed to be here today.
Who's that?
Monday, February 10th, 9:30 a.m. 2:30.
Where's it gonna be?
Right down.
Oh. Huh. Hey, did you guys look at that, and I'm sure Sheena and Mike are gonna talk about it, that deal that Sheena sent out, on the road agreement?
I did.
Were you gonna talk about that?
That'll be something I have to wait for Sheena to get
Okay.
back on.
You know, my thoughts on there, did you get a chance to look at that agreement? So my only thoughts on that was, I thought at once we talked about having a third party come out and inspect before and after.
Yes.
And it still states in this agreement with them that they and us will go out to evaluate that together.
Either way.
I feel more comfortable if it was third party, there's no opinions in it, it's somebody coming out doing the study. They're gonna hate us at the state, I'm sure, but
Hey,
it's just because I've seen that stuff go wrong before.
cover your butt.
Well, he did put in there about mediation. I don't know if you've had a chance to look over any of that or not, but he did go ahead and include
You're
that.
talking about the detail, right?
Yeah, that was one Sheena sent out on the 24th.
I'll make a motion on the minutes.
Jeff made the motion on the minutes, all in favor?
Aye.
That's the only thing I think on that. Didn't really ready to sign it yet, and I thought I'd talk to Richard about that. Didn't we mention that once?
Yes, we did,
She had talked to Richard too.
because I think Richard agreed.
Well, I think it's just best to get all of our opinions out of it and have. Go ahead, Carla.
Yeah, I'm done?
Well, yeah.
Okay.
Can't you tell?
Yeah.
Anyway, like I was saying, I just think it's better to get our opinion out of it and have somebody. See you, Carla. Okay, who's on the agenda first?
Mike and Sheena.
Come on, up.
Sheena's out with sick child today.
How you been?
Okay.
Good. Good.
One thing, I hadn't talked to Oral.
Okay, I'll mark that one off my list.
No, I can do it, I don't have his number, I tried to find him, I couldn't find him.
Okay, I also sent a request for Foley's to come down and look at the machine as well, to give us an offer on maybe trading it for, you know, fixed or not fixed, see what kind of deal they would make us.
What's that machine?
ASD.
Oh, that deal? What would it cost us? Do you have any idea?
Well, I talked to Bob Costa, he was gonna come look at it, and then Sheena called me back and said that.
Well, it's because I put a little dent in it, because
Yeah, okay.
I called them, I wanted to know about warranty, 626 hours.
And it sounded like they were gonna work with us.
I don't know.
Well, yeah,
That's
there's
what
not
she
a whole
said.
lot we could have done wrong to make that happen, right? That's the
I've been in the
machine.
warranty business for years, and 626 hours.
Yeah, see, the 2-year warranty was up here a couple months ago.
But that wasn't an operator failure type deal, was it?
Sheena made it sound like they were gonna,
I haven't talked to her, I just told her to call, because
so I
persuade way.
told Bob to hold off on coming right now. But he said he would entertain, I mean, he's working on it if we need to, so.
Okay.
I was sure.
There's
hoping back
persuade, there's
there.
a place, Wayne Way, they should back that with warranty of some kind.
Well, you'd think so.
Sheena's pretty good with working with him too.
They call that sweet talking.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, I think,
that's it.
well, I understood that Damien called and got the conversation started, and if he couldn't get it, she was gonna call, and if that didn't happen, then somebody else was gonna call, because we're.
Well, that's kind of crazy that happened.
Not for the cost of it.
No.
And
And another thing, got called about,
What did you decide, before you change, I hate to go back to that, but what did you guys think of Orville's Road up there?
nothing to be done.
It's better than most of our roads. We don't need to do anything.
Did you happen to go through them?
I think it's.
I know there was this was a conflict road from the start, and you're gonna have one guy that's going one way, and the other guy's going the other thing.
It's so good that basically we were like, where's the problem?
Okay. Was
What am I?
Orville was with you then?
No.
Oh,
He
okay.
wouldn't come down, I seen him go by, but he wouldn't come down.
Okay. No, said then.
Zimmerman Bridge, we're installing those culverts today.
Good.
So we'll finally have that out of our hair. We're also ripping Singer Bridge out today.
I see him go by this morning, I met him. And you put the tube in, is that what you decided to do, or just leave it without, just leave it out, just leave it out?
We're just gonna taper the road down to where it's safe, and I'm not putting any shale or anything in there. You'll have a big muddy mess if I do. If it doesn't work, we can always go back later if it's called.
There's no need to spend a lot of money on that road, because even if it rains, there's nobody, if somebody goes down when it's raining, it's somebody out messing around.
The engineers thought we should, but I think we'll try it first and see what happens, because like you said, nobody drives it.
There's a spring right down the east.
What are they calling that bridge? Like Bower or anything, or, do you know?
Yeah. I think
They're
it's-
wanting to know, I've had 2 people call me, I haven't even drove by to see what the problem is, but it's not that big of a bridge though, right?
It's on Northeast 70 Ave.
Yeah.
I'm not sure which one it is. I don't have a bridge list with me.
He does.
Well, that's what I was trying to dig out. It's time for a clean out here.
Yeah, that's it.
But I didn't know if that was one of them quick fixes, because it's not a very big bridge, I don't.
Well, it's still the same one. Whose number was it? 20?
On Northeast 70 Ave, Northeast 110 Road.
It's not on this one. Must be, you just close it?
Yeah, it's closed.
I mean, is it the one that just closed recently?
No, I think that was the one up by the landfill, right?
Yeah.
I don't know how long that one's been out, the one by the landfill, you closed like a month ago, or 2 months.
I don't have no B7 on this one.
I was looking at it.
There's not one on here either.
Next time Sheena comes in, we get a new update list on projects and where you're at.
She's probably got it ready, but she didn't make
If you want to hear,
it.
that's fine.
You got that copy?
I've got several copies. It's got
Well,
five.
that's what I'm trying to figure out which one's the most recent.
I checked on Lawrence's pickup. They thought they had the wiring problem fixed finally, but he was going to test drive it, and if it didn't mess up, let us take it and try it out.
Holy cow, we got our pickup back.
Maybe.
After
However,
Maybe 2 years.
2 years.
what was the final cost on that though?
I haven't got a bill on it yet.
Okay.
He's still got the pickup.
Okay. Do you have current maps of where the guys are grading?
Nothing's changed since the last one you got it
Okay.
right now.
Okay.
I've had Chris doing different jobs, running millings and stuff. He's supposed to be back down in your district this week.
Okay.
get some stuff caught up again.
Okay.
They're all actually operating now. Last week, they couldn't do a whole lot because it was frozen.
When they do that, just so everybody knows, it drags up chunks, right? And then
Oh yeah, you're
makes-
burning blades up, you're wasting fuel.
Yeah.
I just find stuff
Yes,
around the
they
shop.
did.
Which when it's dry, that's what we're doing, is chewing up blades anyway. It's just like all the way up your fields, you know, when it's dry, you're doing is eating that stuff up.
Fuel.
So what do they do on days like that, Mike, when they're not out maintaining?
They work on their equipment, they fix tires, just stuff like that. We had a sign broke, our big main sign that you guys had put up at our shop, blew down, we had to redo it, just petty stuff. Just
Okay.
stuff that we,
Are we still in the process of doing ditch work though right now?
Yes.
We got some, okay.
we
Last
don't
time
have
we
a
did.
project going right now. I mean,
Right.
we will as soon as the weather straightens up, which is supposed to be nice this week. We're pushing the concrete underneath Wilmer Bridge today, Lawrence, part-time, should be third day doing that.
Yeah, that bridge was getting close, well,
They got 131 pickup that the deer got. They got it fixed. I have to get a bin check done through Highway Patrol. And I'll have it back in service.
Forgot about that, yeah, you'd have to,
I got a call on that, but I didn't answer it. I called him back.
because you were scared, because it said the highway patrol or what?
When you get a phone call from the highway patrol, you never know exactly what's going on.
You could leave a voicemail. so
I
you
talked
figure
to, I
out-
talked to 4 different people, they still didn't.
Oh, so you couldn't figure out who to talk to.
And they're supposed to be starting, putting the engine in Garrett's pickup today. I think I told you that 3 weeks ago, but
No.
they're actually starting today. So. I have been looking at used pickups at Mel Hamilton Ford for like 20,000 miles or so,
Yeah,
rather than to spend the money for new pickups.
how's that going?
Okay, but Sheena, he sent Sheena the information in an email and I don't have it. So,
I wonder if you're gonna find the new ones just that cheaper, but it makes more sense sometimes than a used one now. Cause you can find them.
yeah, but you know how high pickups are now.
Unbelievable.
Yeah. But it ain't gonna get any better, I don't think.
But I know people at Mel Hamilton Ford that we can get a better deal than a lot of people.
But even here locally, I don't know if you'll have much luck finding. I have no idea what Newberries you're gonna find. I'd rather we get them from Newberries, but they may not have anything. Tracy, have you looked into vehicles through Newberries lately?
Yeah, I just got one, but by ordering a new one, I placed an order and they said maybe next year, we don't know yet.
How about used them? Do they have much for used
They
stuff?
got some, I don't know about work trucks, if you're looking for a work truck or not.
So I'd like to use them, but I don't, it may be a dead end road. You might at least mention it to
Oh yeah, we will check with them, but I can guarantee you right now, from what I know, you're gonna get a lot better deal at Mel Hamilton Ford.
Yeah.
But we're really kind of locked on buying locally if we have, I mean, unless it's just.
What about Reed?
Are they doing that still right now?
I think so. A lot of those are salvage tires, though.
Because all of them are just the same.
That's what I was looking for.
I don't know if we want to get into something like that. I don't know
I think you may have to look anywhere you can right now. If you're looking for something, you may have to keep all options on the table.
Right, right.
Otherwise, like he said, it maybe next year for you.
But I do know that Mel Hamilton has some for like 20,000 miles,
Yeah.
stuff like that used that are available now. And like he said, get new ones. I don't know, just something I'm looking into right
Well, bring us prices. We'll take a look. I mean, if you're
now.
new
Yeah, she's got it on
Okay.
her list, so.
Okay.
Okay, my phone's ringing, so I guess it means it's time for me to
Ooh,
leave.
not quite yet.
Yes?
No, just because your phone rings doesn't mean. Because if that happened,
The
we'd been done a long
only thing
time.
I was hit up about, you wasn't here last year, but Ethan Zimmerman said that a lot of people's been asking him about the spring cleanup deal again, if we're gonna do that. So, I mean, I told him I was in favor of it, but we hadn't talked about it yet, so.
Yeah, I don't have any problem with it.
I didn't either. I think it's a good thing.
Because if we don't do it, it's gonna be started dumping stuff in the ditches, and they do it anyway.
Do it
Oh, you mean just have a free day at the landfill?
Except for tires, it was, we had to go out and look at it. There was a price on the tires, we have to pay. We have Sheena should have the copy of last year's. She should have what we did last year.
It's
And I
not
think,
pretty quickly,
and last year worked pretty
I
good.
think we did that in April or May.
Was that a week long or something like that?
We did
Certain
2
days.
weeks.
2 weeks
Was
long?
it 2 weeks?
We did it 2 weeks.
Well, there's certain days. But she should have a copy and can probably go back on my computer and probably find it, but it's way back there. But the skid steer, which I was never a fan of that skid steer to start with, and you probably remember, I'm just a big fan of it. So, what do you want to do with it? You want to get it fixed and then try to trade it?
Whichever's cheaper, whether we can get it fixed and trade it, or just trade it. That's why I wanted Foley to come look and give us an estimate,
Yeah.
what they might or might not do. I do not like this ASB at all, Caterpillar, I have ran both of their different size ASBs. They're really nice machines, they would be very beneficial in the big stuff. This one, you can't even drive across sand, you get stuck.
Falls in.
Well, no, it has no traction. And
They
then one
got tractors, they got wheels.
That track,
It does have
rubber
tracks.
tracks. But the ones that I use, the Caterpillar, he'd go across anything.
Get what you pay for.
But is it just a regular skid steer Caterpillar you're talking regular? Because they run roughly what, at one time, 80?
The last ones I knew about, the smaller one was 35,000, the other was 50,000, but that's been several years ago, so I couldn't tell you.
I think the bigger one's gonna be upwards of about 60 to 80. guess.
I don't know what
The
they
big one.
paid for this one.
Have you ever ran a case one? No, I thought it was pretty good.
So, I'm assuming that it's gonna be warranty. Just not assuming it will be.
The Caterpillar?
No, the
No,
one getting fixed.
The ASV.
Oh, we'll find out.
Yeah. I just have a hard time believing that 620 some hours, unless it's a hose in there, you can't see what it really is.
Very compacted, that is under there.
But it'd have to be, if I asked you if it's losing engine oil, you said it was, so it'd have to be a remote oil filter line or a line that runs off the pan to drain, but that would be leaking all the time. Just when it's not running. Would be my guess. But you can't see anything, they got a pack in there, like sardines.
Yeah, whatever's cheaper on there, I'm gonna go with that.
Yeah, because we wasn't figuring on this expense, now your budget either. Okay.
Yep.
Everything for Mike? Good?
Just clean that deal. But also try to get it rolling.
Okay, yeah. No, ain't gonna hurt to have him look at it if he wants to.
No,
Have
like
all our
that.
options, such as, like you said, covered by insurance.
Thank you, Mike, appreciate it.
Did you find out though, is that officially a closed road though? Did Sheena ever say?
She looked on the map and thought it was, but as far as looking at documents, I haven't seen anything yet. I'll ask her when she gets back.
Thank you, Mike, have a good day. Tracy, you're up. How are you?
Good.
Mr. Vacationer?
Thanks for saying good morning to me.
I did. You just didn't hear me. You got Deb and Ken
I did, that was awesome.
and I never got a
Got a little
picture of that
survey.
other deal either.
Oh, yeah, you didn't want to see this. It was great, by the way, 85 sunny. Perfect. I don't have a whole lot. We did get one of the, which Newberry's had a truck that they had built when they bought a whole bunch. And we did get it, so at least have one.
Matched what you want?
What's that?
It matched what you wanted?
No, it's white, but I ain't too picky when you can't get them right now, so. But replacing the other one, like I said, it may be next year, he said, he don't know.
That was in
Hasn't
your
said.
budget for this year, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yeah, I just got it, so you'll probably see the voucher coming through, not this round, but because I missed the deadline.
What did it end up costing, just out of curiosity?
43, I think, and that's lights, everything.
Is that four-wheel drive?
Yes.
That's not bad.
I was gonna say,
That's
imagine
fully
it'd be a lot worse
equipped
than
and wiring job, everything,
It's not bad at all.
no, We were guessing around 30s for the truck, and then with all the equipment and stuff, usually about another 10 grand by the time you get it put in. And we did full radios, so we didn't have to put new radios and radar, but everything else.
Speaking of that, you probably get the invite for next week for.
Yes, I got that.
Getting everybody on the pile out here.
Yeah, I do. Other than that, I mean, not a whole lot going. We've been busy. For some reason, we're having more chases. We had another one the other night. That's what I heard. But hopefully, that don't become an issue more. But other than that, everything's going good. I do need, if I can, and I apologize because it just hit me for sure. But maybe a 5-minute executive session for non-elected.
We there.
See what your opinions are, and then we'll.
That radio place that got hit up there, she's selling.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Don't want to
Shonda,
look there.
can you give me these guys might want to do a list of who is what budgeted for this year for equipment?
I used to get shit.
Is that paper?
Well, you can't imagine.
It's like,
Mine's a book.
he's budgeted for a pickup this year, but like Road and Bridge, what are
So
they?
you just want for what's this
I
year?
never
This
drove
year.
in
Like,
there.
Oh, you did?
like,
No,
for the
I
next
just stayed
meeting?
up on the.
Yes.
Okay.
No, right now.
I say.
Wouldn't you like to have one in? Because I like to know
I
who's
think
budgeted,
we did, yeah.
so we know what
Okay.
is budgeted for this
Yeah,
year.
do you want to make that motion?
I will.
Jeff made the motion to go into executive session. The subject to be discussed will be
Non-elected.
personnel matters. The justification for closing the meeting is to discuss personnel matters of non-elected personnel. The open meeting will resume in this room. You said 5 minutes?
Yeah, it won't take long.
At 9:38. All in favor?
Aye. What were you saying, Darren? I was talking to Tracy about getting.
I'm going by my iPad here. I'm not going by that clock.
Okay.
We'll be done 11.
Get out of here.
You go down and stand, stop by and see us about 11 o'clock.
No action taken.
I think that's all I got.
Thank you.
If you guys don't have
Yeah,
anything,
no doubt.
yeah.
Do you have anything?
I'm good.
I'll let you get on your
Thanks.
way.
Let us know.
Tracy, careful.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, Sam stop by about 11:30.
Okay.
We'll be here.
Big time about to eat. Nolan, you ready?
No, you're good.
He's just got down to visit us, and we go visit him, I think.
Yeah.
That's right.
Morning.
How are you?
All right.
What do you got going on?
Well, you guys got my
Yeah,
report
I
for
see that.
last
I
time.
did. Looks like you've been busy.
I've been busy, and it's been a rather short time since I was in front of you guys last.
Yeah.
So there was a lot that went on. Do you have any questions about it?
Now, I think Amy have you been in contact with Amy and she was approaching the insurance about fixing?
Yes.
So some of that stuff I don't know that you can touch until she
Yeah.
figures out.
I don't know that she's heard from James. I have not heard from James as to when he would be down to look at anything or anything like that.
Okay. But I think before you do some of that, you probably need to have their
Yeah,
approval.
so
And if not
right
then,
now-
the historical building end of the deal, you probably better make sure it's
Yeah.
done.
According to,
So hold off on that. I know
Yeah,
it's probably bugging you
um,
seeing it like that, but.
I have several other things
Okay.
on the list right now that I'm taking care of.
Okay.
The last 2 weeks have been a lot of plumbing and wiring.
Are you learning about the building?
Yeah.
Good.
Look, the big thing is
It's what to show you.
Yeah, learning where cutoff valves and breakers are and what panel the breakers
Are you?
in. Yeah.
Hmm.
So, just routine stuff, keeping busy. Had another snowstorm.
That probably kept you hopping, didn't it?
Yeah, snow has really kept me hopping this last month. The south railing is down right now. That last Thursday snowstorm we had week before last was really blowing really thick in places, and got the front wheel hung up on a patch of ice, and when I backed up, that broom brushed against that south railing, and it just fell over. The more I looked at it, it was just a matter of time before it fell over, because the bolts were just about rusted through.
Okay.
So I'm in the process of patching the concrete. The weather's been working against me last week. Got a new section of pipe and a new flange to put it back together with. I need the weather to cooperate.
You should have pretty good with it.
So that's looking like this week's project.
Did Jan contact you about the Harper?
I have not heard from Jan. I have been through my files. I don't have anything related to issues with the Harper station.
Okay. I think we still probably should be able to get a hold of that contractor. Because some of that stuff, I know we had discussed about getting some of that.
But he done it, right?
Yeah.
I have-
Head guy, the company still.
I have no record of what was discussed.
Sure they've got some.
But she's took you around and showed you
I
what she did.
have not talked to
Okay.
Jan about that.
Okay, because yeah, there's some obvious stuff that they should have took care
I'm
of.
gonna say, if it's not recorded, you're gonna have, after this amount of time, you're gonna have a hard time getting it done.
But not if it's in the contract,
If they never came back at all, that's pretty easy to prove that they didn't come back.
You got any documentation then?
I don't. I've got the proposals for the work to be done,
it's gonna be down there.
and
I don't know. Wherever the,
You have a proposal?
I have the proposal that was submitted to the commissioners before the project was done. I would have to go look again to see if I've got a signed contract in there, but there is no list of issues that were brought up. There were some change orders that were done mid-project as to like where outlets were placed and things like that, but I don't have a list of.
Do you have contact information for Mike?
I don't, but I think Leslie probably does.
It might not hurt to get a hold of him and see if he stashed something somewhere.
that paperwork, I'm just gonna say, it's gonna be a long road to hoe if you don't got nothing, paperwork said, hey, you're supposed to fix this.
And I haven't found any paperwork yet.
And I wonder if, and Shonda, this may apply to you, maybe we'll have to get a hold of Linda and find in our commissioner file if there's something that got filed along with whatever Mike may have on his file. with that EMS building in Harper.
Okay,
So somewhere there's gonna be
Yeah.
something.
okay.
There has to be.
It have to be in the minutes or?
And I thought of that guy's name the other day, and then it's left me by today already, but, he was a good guy, I mean, and they were a good company to work with.
Commerce Construction.
Yeah, but I
And
can't think,
I'd have to go back to the file cabinet and look, but I've got the
I can picture his face, but it just
the
can't.
project manager name and the company's owner name are both in that material.
Like, it should have been taken care of a couple of years ago, really.
Yeah. Yeah, but I think at least a call, it's like you were talking on the one, it's worth at least a call and say, hey, this happened, I know you've lost the guy that was in charge at that time, but nobody ever.
If they're a good reputable company and they know that it's that way to start with, they'll come down and take care of it.
Okay, I will start by sending Jan an email and find out what the issues are.
And she may have a file too.
Yeah, I
Kind of like
don't
what
have
Shonda's gonna look for, she may have a file of it just like that.
Mike didn't leave any records like that
Okay.
that I have found yet.
Okay.
It'd be something like, okay, we want this fixed and in a certain amount of time, and it hasn't been done yet.
Yeah.
I mean, you'd have to have something in writing. to say.
Rob, was that his name? Rob? Nobody in here's gonna know.
Yeah,
But Rob.
that does sound
Rob
familiar.
Sumner.
Yeah.
I can't think of his last name right now, but good guy, it was a good company, so that's my hope is that they'll follow through with that. And he may have left file behind
Since
somewhere.
I remember, there's like a half a dozen things.
Okay. Well, like I said, I'll send Jan an email and
Like
see if
one of
she-
them was a drain or something, wasn't it?
Yeah, the drain off that one where I think the washer and all that's at, washer and dryer.
And there's a place where they clean a lot of stuff down or something.
Yeah, and then one of them, they didn't put the light on the outside where everybody walks in. They have a switch there. Jan goes, we have an extra switch, but then we're guessing it was supposed to go to the light outside in here and put it up.
Huh.
So,
Okay.
and then there's something to do with a couple walls. I really don't know.
Yeah, I kind of remember a few of those things.
But that drain deal was a big.
Yeah, it was. And I remember discussing that, talking about that quite a little bit.
I will get in contact with Jan and find out what that list of stuff was.
Okay. And then maybe approach Commerce and see if we, I appreciate if you do that, and then hopefully they'll back that up.
Okay. So,
Did you have to use your tractor again?
about 10 minutes worth. It wasn't enough to bother me about mentioning it. It was just,
Okay.
we had enough wind that I could not get this front sidewalk open. I went around the building 4 or 5 times that storm, and it was drifting enough that I
You
had,
just fighting and let it lose battle.
I had 18, 20 inches across the west end of this front sidewalk.
The wind will let
At the
that
end, and when the wind finally let up, then after lunch I got that much open. Everything else was clear.
I figured you just fighting a battle with that.
So, the little skiff we had last week was no problem. One pass around everything, and
And it evaporated
Yeah,
or something. It was kind of strange out at our place. It just disappeared all of a sudden.
it snowed all day, but it didn't stick once I
Yeah.
got it swept off.
It was pretty weird.
When you're not fighting the wind, the broom works great.
And that light fluffy stuff just went
Yeah,
away.
and I am gonna modify the mower, add some decent lighting, because these 6 AM clearing snow, the headlights built into that mower are worthless.
Are they?
Darren and I had talked briefly after the
Waking
first
up all the neighbors,
snowstorm.
aren't you? Big old spotlight on the front.
Well, they're only gonna be
Yeah, I'm sure,
4-inch
yeah.
LEDs, but yeah, they'll throw plenty of light.
Yeah, I'm sure.
So I've got the materials to do that.
Okay.
That's another,
Plan on next year.
yeah, warmer weather project when things are a little slower. So,
I think it's a great idea.
Yep, looks good, Nolan. Looks like you're keeping that one.
Thank you, Nolan.
Thank
Yep,
you.
Thank you. Appreciate you looking into that.
Yeah.
If you find something out, you probably will be on next week to let us know.
Yeah. Yep. You guys want to take a quick break before we get into that? Because that'll be on conference call for a little bit. I'll make a motion to recess.
So 30 minutes.
Yeah, but I would do there.
So moved.
All in favor?
Wait 12 minutes after the meeting.
There's a timesheet that did make it in there, you guys can review that.
You can't go in on break. You got work to do.
Thank you. How you doing?
Good, how are you guys?
Kid have fun yesterday? Shot pretty decent.
Same one.
Is that on you, actually, you're on fast? You think you read back quicker? Doesn't matter.
No. No.
All right.
Actually, you're better the other way around.
I entertain a motion to reconvene.
So,
All in favor?
We have the conference call with the attorney at 10.
Right.
Richard is going to try to join us.
Oh, cool.
Yes. So if you want me to go ahead and go on, we've got 5
Sure,
minutes.
yeah.
I have a few things. I've got some status forms for you. Okay, we've got a new hire in dispatch. We've got a new hire, I am assuming in the jail. I haven't heard otherwise from Tracy. We've got a termination, resignation in dispatch. And then I do have a personnel status form and a transfer form. And I'm doing them together just so I can explain to you what the purpose is. We have, last year Public Works paid a road and bridge, or paid a bridge employee. So this year, we're moving that guy into the actual special bridge fund, but I didn't get that done January 1st, so I do need to get it, I need to transfer his salaries over. So the personnel status form is just moving him to the other budget, and then the transfer form underneath is moving those funds out of Public Works and into, or I guess out of Special Bridge, because they should have paid his salary.
You're taking it out of, okay, special.
Yeah, we're putting it back in Public Works.
Yes. Yeah, we'll see.
And Linda reviewed that with me, so pretty. Thank you.
You know, Noxious Weed, David talked about something like this. Was it for something? What was it? He bought, was it a time clock or something to come out of his budget?
Yeah,
Remember all that conversation?
Kind of.
That does count, but he was wondering about this another question. That was a month or two ago.
yeah,
Probably longer than that. I'm just saying,
yeah. I'll look into it.
I don't remember exactly what it was. It may have been he paid for the whole time clock and it was supposed to come out of.
You wanna see this?
The transfer. A couple weeks ago, we talked about performance evaluations and doing the annual evaluations during a period of time instead of thing. I looked at our policy, and that's actually how it was written, so we don't have to make any changes. I will, though, send it out to the department heads, and I'm going to try to start putting a policy in the newsletter each month, just to kind of remind employees about different things.
Yeah.
I think most of them read that, so, or at least gaze over it, so that's done. On February 16th, and I did email this to you all, we had a K-Work inspection. They're our work comp carrier. We did really well. The last few, knock on wood, we've had good results. I don't know if you saw it on there, if you want to see it on here. Yeah, there were just a handful of things like extension cords and ladders. And they went and looked at the Anthony shop and then solid waste and recycling. But between the two, there were only 7 things that were considered a fail. And like I said, it's a ladder that, you know, maybe needs to be replaced or repaired, and extension cords. Yeah, so Mike Bennett's working on getting that all back into shape. But that's pretty good. I'm pleased with that result. The other thing, this year I really want to work towards the K-Camp Risk Management Awards. We would get a refund. Let's see, if we do the Achievement Award, which is the lower of the two, we could get a refund of up to 3% of our contribution, which could be up to almost $3,800.
I wasn't aware they did that.
They do a lot. They do a lot. Okay, the thing about this is, and this is where I need one of your all's buy-in, we'd have to designate a risk management coordinator, which I feel like that should be me because I handle all the insurance. But we would also need a risk management committee, and a commissioner has to sit on that committee in order for us to be compliant with this award. But you only meet quarterly, so it'd be 4 more meetings a year. Would one of you be willing to be on?
I'll do it. I'll do it.
Well, thank you.
If we get $3,000 back, I'll for sure do
For
that.
4 meetings, it'd be worth it.
Yeah.
All right, thank you very much. So really, that's about all I needed.
What are those meetings?
We'll just have them here. It's just a
Don't you
group.
worry about it, Jeff.
No, I'm just saying, I might want to step in
Come in and
listen to you guys.
That'd
you
be
know.
fine. Basically, we just have to show that we are being active about
Okay,
trying to mitigate our risk.
Kick Brian out on that.
Thank you. I'm excited about this. I think.
So who you got, who's the criteria to get the
Well,
next 3 or 4 people?
We have to have someone from the clerk's office, a commissioner, someone from the attorney's office, someone from law enforcement, public works, health department, HR, and building and grounds. So I think somebody from all of those would be willing to sit. They're not gonna be long meetings, and they're not gonna take up a ton of time. Just a review so that everybody's kind of paying attention and keeping their eyes on our list.
Recruitment training, hiring training, nothing else.
I think it's a good deal.
I think it would be good, and then if we can get that done, then maybe the next year we can go for the Excellence Award, which is 4 to 6% of a refund. But it requires a little bit more as far as
2 minutes to get
getting
me
people
on.
involved. Do you want to go ahead and call?
You got 2 minutes.
We're calling him.
Right. Since Richard's here, we can go into
Is he here?
executive
Okay.
session. He just walked in, so
Good, good.
whenever he's ready, we can go into executive session and then you can dial the phone.
Great. And it's attorney-client.
Correct.
I mean, that's,
30, or what shows on the agenda.
Well, that's just my time, and then it's 30 minutes, so I think so.
how long you go with him? We can always send.
Yeah, like, can we try maybe 20?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but we're not locked in.
We can always add to it if we have to. We're pretty good about that, seems like.
So you talking to him about that?
Yeah.
A minute.
Okay. I'd entertain a motion for the board to go into executive session. If you guys want to do that.
So move.
The subject to be discussed will be legal advice on matters protected by the attorney-client privilege. The justification for closing the meeting is for consultation with our attorneys on a matter protected by the attorney-client privilege. The open meeting will resume in this room at 10:20. All in favor? Aye.
Yeah, really, it's gonna take a little bit.
The other
Okay.
Darren is extending for 5 minutes. All
appreciate it. Thank you, Amy, for all you do.
yeah, thank you, Amy.
Thank you. I just have a couple more.
Well, I think we kind of have to.
We gotta wait for 39 seconds.
Oh, we can do that. I mean, that's okay.
Huh?
You want
Y'all
to
just
take
kept it on time too, about 5 more minutes. Get caught on the 30 minutes.
Is Josh supposed to be in today?
Yes, he's next.
Okay, I'm gonna talk to him.
You won't use that.
What is that? Oh, no, you can keep it if you want to. Just leave it in the thing.
Leave it one thing.
I can email the little, that thing you're looking at now, and I can email it to you if you want to keep them in your,
Yeah, I'd rather have it in there.
I will do
than
that.
float around.
you bet.
There's not many people can get a hold of it.
If you need this sign.
Yes, thank you.
Okay. Go ahead, you can run the clock now.
All right, I just have a couple more quick things to touch base on. Our annual training topics for this year. K-Camp is gonna come do sexual harassment and discrimination in person. K-Work is gonna come do some in person. Ethics and local government, Shelley Hansel said she'd do that one for us, which will be great.
Cool.
Bloodborne pathogens, the health department's gonna help us with that. And cybersecurity, Josh said he would do that in person. So we will have very few things where people have to sit in front of the screen this year, which I'm really excited about.
Perfect.
Yes, hopefully it'll sink in. Not that I'm worried about it, but it's more fun to have somebody up in front talking than to sit there.
Well, and I've been thinking lately about this whole Russia cyber attack junk. You're probably gonna have a pretty important role here in the next year if they do what they could be doing, so.
I have reached out to K-Camp about the cracks in the courthouse.
Okay.
I have not heard back, so I'll follow up with James. I'm surprised, usually I hear back pretty quickly, but I think he's been in and out. Also, the bridge damage claim, we're working on getting an estimate for repair. That's where we have to start, and then we'll send the letter to the insurance company.
Well, I drive by that thing every day, and what bothers me the
Cringe a
most.
little bit.
Well, what bothers me is not the right now, but let's say 10 years and none of us are part of this anymore. If they come through and they inspect that bridge and they condemn it because there's a giant crack in it. Because it hit pretty hard. Have you guys ever been down that way?
I've just seen pictures.
So that whole first pillar is just about cracked off and there's concrete about like that. So that's what bothers me, is not the now, but in 10 years, and then we're stuck with it as a taxpayer to fix that bridge.
The whole bridge.
Yeah. So I think we need to pursue that and make sure that
Absolutely.
there's structural problems in there that we haven't addressed now while somebody still can pay for it. So,
Okay.
anyway.
The other thing y'all asked me about was for an update on the public works budget to decide how we're doing as far as openings. We still have 2 positions open. Our latest new hire will start tomorrow. Okay, so technically after February, they should have used 16.66% of salary. This one is Road and Bridge. They've only used 11.44%, and then Special Bridge has only used 8%. So right now we're okay. Now a big old chunk of overtime will make a difference. However, we did a little bit of a transfer today, moving money out of Special Bridge and back into Public Works, so that will help a little bit.
Special Bridge is very close, I can tell you. We budgeted that real tight from the last one. It was like 1,000, it was very close. So they have
To
to be
date,
very
though,
careful.
we're only about half of what we should have spent. So, just FYI, we're doing pretty good salary-wise in that budget. Benefits, of course, come out of our employee benefit fund, so they don't affect this. So, just FYI.
Okay.
Well, thanks for
We
keeping on
don't
top
have
of that.
any more applicants, so, right now, it's really kind of a non.
Are you filling jobs pretty easy lately?
Yes,
It
I really
seems like-
think it made a difference. I think bumping our salaries made a difference. And I know that's not all that matters with these jobs, but I think
Well, just like what came across the desk today, it seems like you're putting them out and you're getting them filled.
we're getting them filled. It's kind of exciting. I've had a lot of new hires that I've sent out to Patterson, so.
One question,
Yes.
the thing that we talked about last week was, I got so many different ones. The one we didn't pay to that want us to pay to.
KC.
KAC, this risk management award would pay for that if we
Is,
got it.
okay, my question to that though, are they the ones that do all the, use reading on their day? They back us, right? When you go up to the government.
Yeah, there are people.
Our word.
Mhm. They're the ones who sent out that email that I forwarded you guys about the legislative update. And they're the watchdogs. They're the ones lobbying for the county, the
Okay.
government.
Well, what is KLTG though versus that?
That's a legislative
So are they
policy
more
group. I believe that's part of KAC. So you've got KAC, but the legislative group are the commissioners and the people that's what they do.
And you
It's like their
said
committee.
they majority back the big, like Johnson County and.
Sometimes they do. I mean, that's something you do have to keep an eye on. But like with the several ones that are going to be worked this week, there are a lot where the state's trying to reach in and snatch control away from local government. And that's something KAC keeps a,
informed on.
yeah, they keep a really close eye on that. it's like with the plastic, the bill about not allowing people to use plastic bags to carry out anymore, or the bill that says local government cannot put mask mandates in place. Well, I mean, that would be forever, you know what I mean? That's not just until COVID goes away. That bill would be in place forever, so who knows what might come in 5
So we have to have somebody there for watchdog or somebody, because we're not gonna send somebody there.
I think it's a benefit to have them. You know, I don't always agree with the stand that they take on certain things because I do feel like the big counties get a lot of their attention, but they are looking at counties in general as opposed to cities or, you know. I think it's helpful to know that somebody's keeping an eye on what they're trying to do in Topeka. And an attorney for KAC representing 104 counties is going to have more pull than Amy DeLacerda representing Harper County.
That's what I was on this email. Okay.
And they send those out at least monthly, but I want to say weekly.
And KLPG does too.
Mm-hmm. And I'll find out what that connection is for sure. I'm not 100%.
Yeah, I thought it was a separate deal.
Mm-hmm.
Find out less now, because this is still on my, I told you I'd think about it for a week, but I'm gonna push it into 2
You're
weeks.
still pondering? That's all right. They keep us in
So
the
that's what Shonda was talking about that.
Yeah.
That's okay.
Shelley's gonna have a list of benefits, so
Well, you might
that'll
wanna
be
hang around.
more for you to think
I
about.
actually.
Well, I still think so. So we went over budget as a department, and you're potentially talking about doing that to us again. And so when we're telling all the other departments, don't go over budget, don't go over budget, here we are doing it 2 years in a row.
I know. I hear your words.
And really, when we go over budget, we should probably, it should be a bigger deal than what it was in just saying, oh, we went over budget. Shouldn't we have to, like Linda was bringing up the other day, each department that goes over, we should have to have a hearing or whatever it is to,
Right, same one.
for the public to come in and have questions of why did you go over budget? So, I thought about this KAC thing a little bit longer too, and I thought, okay, so the departments that want it, when I was, let's just say for instance, as an extension agent, or even as a teacher, so we could belong to organizations, a group like this, but I had to pay out of my own pocket. The taxpayer didn't pay for it when I was teaching or at K-State, so the departments that want this, how come they can't pay for it out of their pocket?
Well, why does it come out of the commission budget anyway?
I don't know, that's just the way those dues are set up. It probably is looked at as an overall county group to belong to.
I think so.
That's what I was, that's what happened that came out.
Because it's just one membership fee and then everybody's included.
Yeah. So that's why I say pass the hat around if you want to belong. Toss your money into the hat. You can get it out of
Pay
there.
that fee. You've gone to a couple of those, their annual meetings. Did you find any benefit in them?
Not for the asking the taxpayer for $2,000 to pay for the county to join. It wasn't worth that. And it's kind of like our rural water district. We belong to the Kansas Rural Water Association, and I kind of question that quite a little bit of what that's actually doing for us. So,
We'll hear some more on it here shortly.
All right.
thank you, Annie.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Is that Josh
Have a
or up?
lovely day.
Are you sticking around though for a little bit when Sean is up?
I will be here for a little bit. I am going to
Oh,
run
you're-
out to, I'm going to go to Allen's.
Okay, yeah, you better get out of here then. Thanks, Annie.
You're welcome. Thank you. I'll be back.
Josh.
Hello.
Hello.
I need one thing before we start.
All right.
While we're having these meetings,
Mm-hmm.
I need, that phone isn't answering, I need it pushed to the road bridge part.
I thought about that one, friend.
So somebody, can you ring it so many times here and then move it to the basement?
Which one? The,
The 555 number,
yeah,
Or Shonda's phone, I guess.
just for this morning or what,
in general.
in general?
Rings 5 times, then it goes to somebody else.
Okay.
Because we have executive sessions for 30 minutes and that phone's in here ringing,
Yeah.
it needs to go to somebody. So if
Okay.
you can move it and all that road bridge know that their phone may be ringing off and on,
Okay.
can you do that?
It's possible. I don't know how feasible it's going to be, but it's
How
possible.
much?
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's time. I mean,
Okay.
that's the biggest issue. Like, when we come in the morning, we can move it down on Monday mornings. But
Okay,
then,
that's fine.
I think
the
that's
biggest
probably
day.
the easiest.
What did
thing
they
to
bring,
do.
what, twice?
So,
2 different times?
yeah,
Monday mornings would be great.
yeah.
And
I
then,
think
and
that's-
then Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, they can handle it.
Yeah.
Just Monday meetings needs to be moved to somebody else's phone.
Okay.
Okay?
And then can you get him one of these?
I got one of those, it takes forever to charge my computer.
Which one? I thought I get.
Never mind.
I'll get you one with it brand new.
box.
You got the regular little box? I'll get you a big box.
Okay. I don't want to be outdone by him.
It's like little kids, man. I got this one. I want this one. I was like, okay. Got you. Okay. Jeez.
Why are you turning red in the face,
Oh,
Chris?
so anyway, so Monday mornings we can move the phone?
Yeah,
I don't have to
yeah. I think that's probably the best move. Just do it for all Monday though.
Okay,
It's
that's
just, that way we're not
we're
executive
in
session
session.
and going back and forth. Is that kind
Just
of-
what we're having meetings, and after that, I don't even do it
Yeah.
back in like.
Okay. Yeah, I think so. I think that's the best. Because I mean, they get calls too, and Gina's busy, and
Yeah.
Sheena's gone today, so I mean,
I just
she's
don't want the phone ringing and nobody's in there to answer it.
sure.
So-
I get it.
You guys okay with that?
Yeah, I was thinking that as it was ringing.
I did too, forgot about it.
Yeah,
So,
makes sense.
and I'll stop down there and let them know Mondays that maybe we'll answer the phone.
Okay. Yeah, no problem.
Okay?
Absolutely, absolutely. I'm right there. Darren, new charger. I got it.
You can blame it on me if you like. Okay.
Yeah. Hey, so I think Shonda forwarded this to y'all end of last week. I was on time for my department update.
Okay.
Just want that to be known. Asset tracking. So this is the Samsara or Verizon that we've been talking about for the past couple of weeks. We are currently in a trial with Samsara. It was up on the 25th. I think I originally told y'all the 21st, but it was the 25th that it was up. I went ahead and extended that trial just to the end of this month, or excuse me, next month, so end of March. Just to give us more time, because I know we were kind of talking about which way we wanted to go and like what we wanted to do. I talked with Tracy. They currently have a Verizon product on their vehicles. It is not Verizon Connect, it's just through Verizon. It basically does the same thing. It's a little bit of an older product. They pay about $200 a month for their 7 vehicles that they have, about $20 a month per vehicle. So talking with Tracy, we did a little demo with Verizon Connect and we just kind of decided to push everything together, right, into one budget so we could have one login for dispatch, one login for Tracy, one login for me. I can get one login for y'all just like I did on Samsara. And then I just sent that same thing to Samsara and said, hey, if you can match the pricing that Verizon's doing, we'll see where we come in at. I did talk with another company, but their pricing was about $40 per unit, and that was significant. So monthly pricing's broke down. Each of these are 12-month contracts, so it's kind of like a phone. You enter in with a contract, you get a monthly pricing. Verizon's was $643.20. Samsara's was $879.34. The reason that Samsara jumped up in that price is because their cameras for Tracy's patrol vehicles were so much more expensive than Verizon's. The cameras that we're talking about putting on would be forward-facing cameras, so they look out. You kind of see them on like traffic videos where you get somebody pulled over and they'll show you that. And then they also have rear-facing cameras that'll show like Tracy driving, right? So it is show him throughout the cab. That includes internal storage on the camera, and then it uploads usually about a 5-10 minute delay after the fact. So if Tracy got an alert on his phone about somebody in the field, say Kenny or something, he couldn't see it in live time, but pretty dang close. It'd be about a 5-10 minute delay, and he can see what's going on in the pickup. If siren was going, I mean, a lot of different things, right? So it's a good safety feature. I know it's a little expensive, but I really do think it's worth it. So for the 28 vehicles that we got, the breakdown is on that second sheet. I don't know if y'all saw that.
What was that?
This one?
Yeah. Did you email it out?
Yeah, that's
It's on notes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the breakdown.
Go to that second sheet.
3 EMS, Public Works,
Okay.
Yeah.
8 Sheriff.
Yeah, and then it shows the price breakdown of each of those, and that just, it adds up to that
What
6.
day was that on?
It's been Thursday, I think.
Yeah, Thursday.
Thursday?
Thursday
Yeah. If you
afternoon.
want that.
Is that
Yeah.
per month?
Yeah, that's per month, yep.
I still can't find that.
Here. Shonda, Shonda's notes on the,
Yeah, it's not on there. Which one of those is it?
go to Harper, only, yes, no, go back one more.
Department update?
Yeah, Department of
Okay.
Yeah, it was 2 pages on that, if you guys see it. Anyway, I mean, this is just a breakdown of how it would go on Verizon. They were the cheaper option, right? So we got 3 EMS vehicles, they were 17 per. The only thing that they have added on in that 17 per is they do provide a Wi-Fi signal, so we can update the safes mobilely. You know, you got those drug safes on the 3 ambulances. That's pretty important. You got 7 public works vehicles, so that's maybe like, you know, superintendents, you know, Mike, Damien, Garrett, Janice, and then I think we had 2 on the shared pickups just to kind of keep better track of those. I'm missing somebody there, but I don't remember. And then we got our graders and loaders. There's 8 graders, 1 loader, and 1 dozer. Those are all pretty cheap at $10.95 per. And then we got our sheriff, right? And that was the big cost. They're doing $44.90 per, but that includes those cameras that I was talking about that have forward-facing and rear-facing cameras. Without the cameras, we can drop that price down to $22.21 per. They pay $19.91 right now for what they have with Verizon. On their current Verizon subscription, it is end of life and will have to be replaced by the end of this year. So we either got 9 months of what we currently got, or we can go ahead and move up to this new system. That's one of the reasons that Verizon gave us some better pricing than what we originally thought, because they want to keep us as a customer. And I kind of played Samsara on Verizon and then Verizon back on Samsara, and I feel like these numbers are pretty darn good. If you go by the total amount, so that's that $643.20 for 28 vehicles, that's $22 per vehicle, so that's $22 per asset tracking device, even with that expensive amount for the sheriff's department. And that would offset a little bit because we are paying $200 per month or $19 right now for our sheriff's vehicles. Is that clear as mud? Mm-hmm. Okay. So what I propose here is a couple of different things. I would like to. We made a couple of cuts in one of my line items. It was computer software subscriptions. That account's pretty flush at the moment, if you want to pass that around. We cut out our Nova Store, so we paid last year's subscription this year's subscription out of last year's budget. We paid our free file spin backup and our Google backup, so that was about $6,000 that we cut out of this year's budget, or saved out of this year's budget. There's $61,000 left in that account. I propose that we take, it'd be $57.88.80 for the rest of this year out of that account. So that is that per monthly cost of $643.20, and I would voucher it out of that account. And then in July, August, when we set budgets for next year, we can kind of talk about what we want to do moving forward.
Okay, so part of that though, the sheriff's already got budgeted for themselves.
Correct.
Were you figuring that in?
No, I wasn't. I'll talk to Tracy if he wants to do a transfer, or maybe, you know, figure something else out on moving that from him to me. You know, taking that account. Here's what I want to kind of avoid. I don't want the EMS to voucher their 3, Public Works to voucher their 3, and then Sheriff's to voucher theirs, because I think that makes it more complicated than it has to be. I'd like to have it come out of one account. You know, I can keep track of it when we need to add a new vehicle. We do have, you know, Tracy talked about his new vehicle. That is included in this cost already. Let's say we add, you know, the new ambulance that we got coming. We want to add another asset tracking on there. Well, Jan doesn't have to contact me to contact, you know, the company to actually do it. I can just put it in, a little simpler, a little easier. They add it to our monthly cost, which, you know, you add $22 on there, $17.95, excuse me. So, you pay $160 and or $660, and that's your monthly cost.
So a couple questions I have for
Sure.
you. So the weekly grader maps that we used to get, that we could track and see
Yes,
where each road, if they've been hit once or twice.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't found yet how to make it do that.
Yeah.
Is that possible?
Yeah, it is possible on this. The other thing that we talked about is doing noxious weeds, putting these on his two
Right,
trucks, you know, and that way we can see where Hoops is spraying at. And I think that's really important. Those are something that we don't have on right now.
So is that going to be something though I can pull up on this thing and look at it and
Yes.
see like a colored map of how many times
Yeah.
they've been up?
And you can see where he's gone and where he stopped and where he went back.
Cool.
and all of that information. And he can make notes on it. You know, one of the things that we've really underutilized thus far in the trial is what I was talking about, the mapping, but also like Jim and David out at the shop. I mean, we need to get these guys on maintenance records, you know, where they can start putting stuff online. That way Sheena can have access to it, Mike can look up stuff, and you can actually say, hey, I replaced this sensor, you know, a month ago, and it's still giving me issues. Like, what's the deal here?
Did you look at it yet? Did you pull that up? Or not? Did you ever get it and look at it? You said, okay.
I don't think I would do
Well, I remember that meeting when you asked, and I said, I'll take it.
Yeah.
I think he said it. I think he didn't.
Darren said he didn't, but that's okay. Yeah.
Gotta be one of these crowd.
I know.
And then the other thing I wonder about, so that's important to me. I want to be able to see that, and I want to be able
And
to share
that's-
that with people when they call me and say, well, hold on a second.
That's something we can absolutely, sorry, I don't mean to cut you off. That's something that we can absolutely do, but the other thing is that we can also put this on PTO stuff. So when we drop, you know, you drop a blade down, you can actually see when the blade is down on a grader versus when it's not down on a grader. And that's huge. Because, I mean, you can tell speed right off, but if you can actually tell when the equipment is in use. And for those 8 graders, that's huge.
Well, you know, I get people asking all the
Yeah.
time, how come they haven't been out here for 2 months?
Yeah.
So if I'm standing right next to them, I can pull it up and say, well, hold on, let's take a look.
Yeah.
And you may have to teach me how to do
Yeah,
that.
no,
sometime
absolutely.
to get to this. But I can stand right there beside them and say, well, here it is.
Mhm.
They were down here 3 weeks ago, not 3 months ago.
Yeah, no, I mean, as the IT director, I get people complaining to me about county roads. I mean, I get it, I do.
But that will help
So-
us because they used to have these sheets.
Yeah.
That was a year or so ago. You guys probably don't ever really remember seeing those.
Yeah.
You were they, when you first came on, did you still get
When
those?
did you send it in?
Probably the 7th, I think.
It took me a while to go back and find it. Just
Yeah.
type in Sam Sarah under
It-
search and it'll pop up.
The link
Because it's not
expires.
from him.
Yeah,
Oh.
yeah, the
It's
link
from-
does expire after a time, so it's probably next.
And then the other thing I think about is, if we go ahead and do this, do we really need it on the loaders and the excavators? Other than service and maintenance, that type of stuff.
I think that's a big deal for those two. Plus, it's only $20 a month that you're paying, $22 to be exact, because those are $10.95 per. So, I mean, that's not a huge expense when you think of. I mean, the whole point of this is, first off, safety, right? You want to get an aspect of safety on every single one of our
Accountability
assets.
too, though.
But the other thing, exactly, is our maintenance and accountability, and we want to make sure we're taking care of our equipment so it'll last a long time. So if you have maintenance records for this, and we can get everything online, like I'm very confident we can, that is a huge asset alone. And that's why I think just adding that, you know, loader and grader, or excuse me, loader and, I'm sorry, I just went blank. Excavator, yeah, sorry. Loader and dozer, yeah. Putting those on, that's a big deal.
And does the equipment have to be turned on for that thing to be sent on? So it can be,
Yeah, it doesn't have to be turned on.
so if they wanted to know, okay, how much
Yeah.
fuel's left in that thing, do I need
Yeah.
to take fuel with me, or they?
It takes the last, you know, recorded asset. So if you're at 73% of the tank being full on fuel, it shows 73%. You don't have to turn it on and then it, you know, updates. It is constantly, you know, uploaded to the cloud.
If it gets dumped in the water, we'll be able to see that.
Oh, yeah.
It will send us.
Well, so that was the kind of the cool thing, and I think I mentioned this on the 7th. You know, Mike's driving around. They took it to maintenance. He unplugs the sensor. Well, it sent me a deal saying, hey, Mike had unplugged the sensor. It'll let you know if it goes offline for some reason, and you can see why, you know, if it was dumped in water, right?
Well, how long ago was it before we found out that one was dumped in water?
Which one?
That excavator that took a dip into Bluff Creek.
That was before us.
It was right when
It was
you
right
arrived
when we were getting on, remember?
and we didn't hear a thing about it. So that type of stuff, I think, is, and so it can be set up to send each of us a notification of that?
Yeah, right now it's just set up for Mike and I.
Okay.
But, you know, once we get Tracy on, I mean, he'd be the other one, and we can send it for y'all too. I mean, you got an account, and we can.
And not that I really want to be looking at it, but the idea that it's out there, I want to.
You can look at it is a big deal, absolutely. The other thing that I think you're missing, or that we can add on is dispatch. How big a deal this is for dispatch. Right now, we've got the list of road closures mapped over our dispatch. So dispatch has got this up on a TV screen, and they can see where all the EMS trucks are and Kenny. But eventually, with this, they will be able to see all of the sheriff's vehicles.
And then walk them through, get to the judge's house.
Exactly. They can say, no, that road's closed because that bridge is closed, or there's, you know, burning there, and you can't go through there because there's smoke, right? I mean, the whole point of getting this 4x4 ambulance is to do a little more, you know, out in the
4x4.
well,
Off-road.
off-road, you know, yeah. is to get it out there in the county, and this would help with that. It's going to be used by dispatch.
That'd be a big help, because they twice coming to my place, they got sent the wrong address.
That happens a lot.
And they never showed up till, so,
It's, yeah, I mean,
both
that's,
of them being fires.
yeah, and that's a big deal. So yeah, I think this has a lot of uses but we got to implement it and then kind of make it what we want it. You know, it may not happen day one. We're gonna have to do it and then build it out. Yeah.
Well, what do you think, guys? Need more time to think about it? You said when does it expire now? You extended it till when?
The end of this month, so like March, not the 28th.
I was gonna say, in a month you got
Yeah,
that.
yeah, sorry.
Pretty quick.
End of March. Yeah, so that's when the trial is extended through. You know, Verizon, we don't have a trial with them, so this offer is good. Just as long as the quote's good, and he re-upped it for me on Friday, so it's got about another month on it.
I'm all for it, and I've talked to people that are for it too, that think it's a great idea to do that, so. But I'm sure you can find people that are against it as well, too, right?
I'm okay with EMS, and I'm okay with the one on the spraying, but as far as public works and repairs, I'm not gonna say that. Because that's about $3,000 a year.
So sure.
I'm okay with the EMS ambulance, because I think that'd be a help as far as getting them to where they're supposed to be. They can track them, say, hey, you're going down the wrong road, whatever. I'm okay with that. I'm okay with the spraying, where that truck's been, where it's going, where we're sprayed at, where we haven't sprayed at. But the rest of our public trucks and our graders and I'm not listening to that.
See, and that's what personally I want to see with the graders have been. I want to see the times that they
So,
cover
that's
there.
fine.
Yeah, that's what I would like to see.
Because it's $3,000.
Yeah.
So. Go right ahead.
Yes.
What? I'm for it. I am.
Do you want to make a motion for it today? Or you want more time for that?
Oh, it doesn't have to be done today, does it? I mean, or you want to go ahead and get it over with?
It doesn't. I mean, is this all right? I didn't know if I had to do an overnight spending request for this because it's that $643 a month that'd be coming out of what I talked about, the budget that I showed you.
Yeah, I'll probably look at it now.
So, because I mean the
It's a
total,
total for the year.
yeah, right. So the total's at $57.88, but it comes out monthly. I didn't know how you wanted to.
I'll go ahead and make the motion
So,
And you making a motion to bring it up to everything.
to everything.
All right, Jeff's made that motion. All in favor? Aye. All opposed?
Aye.
Motion passes. All right, get us going. Thank you, Josh.
Josh, did you talk about, what was the amount? Because you were on my annex.
BoCC.
Okay.
Hmm?
you need to sign that next.
I will. I thought you wanted to read it through it.
$5,788.80.
No, I hadn't talked about Shelly. I'll skip to Shelly. I was actually gonna say not something nice about Shelly because I didn't think she was gonna be in the room. So
pretend.
I'm just
She's
gonna
not here.
skip over that. Thank you, sir.
The best way to get it out is just say it right now.
No, so this line item here, community development printer moved to the new finance department. I just want to say Shelly offered to have that printer moved. She had a big printer up there.
That's not what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
I'm
no,
talking about
I'm
the
trying to say something nice to you.
okay.
This is, you know. No, she was just a real team player. We got 3 people in this office right now. They were having to walk to the clerk's office to print something. So I just really appreciate Shelly. Do we have any gold stars or anything?
Yes, that is a gold star for
You
sure.
catch?
Yeah,
Nice work,
or
sir.
the catcher, softball.
So thank you very much, Shelly. We did move that printer over there. That's a big help to Hannah,
You're
Shonda,
welcome.
Linda. So Shelly's, we're calling it the annex. You know that building, the old road and bridge one?
The index.
The annex, yeah, the
Correct.
office term.
Mm-hmm.
So I bought a couple of radios like we use for noxious weeds, like $150. And basically we're gonna shoot a Wi-Fi signal from the top of this tower to the annex and give her free Wi-Fi.
Cool.
So
Wi-Fi
Wi-Fi
to do that.
Yeah, Wi-Fi is taken care of over there. I need to do some rewiring. I will take care of that if it gets approved to move her over. The only thing that I don't think is, not covered, we have everything else, is I bought her a little printer. We'd like to get her maybe something a little bigger. That way people could come in, because that's kind of like a shared space. And they would type in a code and it would charge them like 6 cents a paper or something. And like anybody off the street could come in and print. So even if you had like a kid with a school project, they'd come in,
Yeah.
print something for cheap. Library does something real similar, you know, but just kind of figure out. That's the only cost that is not covered currently. And I know that's kind of a if and when thing, but just keep that in mind. Wi-Fi's covered. We just got to do some rewiring. Furniture's covered. Yeah, we got our new desk and all that kind of stuff. New to her desk, I guess.
So we probably need a motion to make all that happen though, right? We didn't.
We had it, I mean, it's not.
You're just saying, you're just lining up.
Yeah,
all
I'm just lining up.
all the boxes to check.
Yeah, just lining up my allies. Come guns a-blazing at you.
Your alleys or your allies?
Okay, yeah. So thank you, Shelley. Got all that
Thank you,
taken
Josh.
care of.
Thank you.
Go back up to the second one real fast. The jail camera system. We need a new jail camera system, right? We talked about this new camera system for the courthouse here. The jail DVR I told you back on the 7th, it went kaput on us, and I got this new one in there with soldered with baling wire and duct tape. Man, it's hanging on by a thread. The new system, so it has 18 current cameras. We're adding 19 cameras. Utilizes the NVR from the courthouse, so that saves us some money. Got a quote from Geeson to do the wiring. All of this is in conduit, so you know nobody in there can just reach up and yank on something. And we upgraded the cameras a little bit. That's what that IK08 rated means. It means you can hit something with a bat or whatever and it doesn't break, which is a good thing because you don't want somebody up there punching on a camera, you know? Not that they would do that.
Yeah, they would. They'd feel pain on it.
Exactly. So yeah, this is our total cost is $41,000, $27,500 from Geeson, $13,500 from material. We currently have $32,187.40 in the account for the updated jail camera system. So we're about $9,000 short. I'm asking for that $9,000 to come from the landfill budget. Plum ticket budget. We got that number if you need it.
I don't think we can just tap into that and just do that unless it's a budgeted item.
What do you mean?
You can't just go dig out of the landfill to pay for stuff.
This is a budgeted item. There's $32,000.
I know, but budgeted from that landfill.
Oh,
from-
gotcha.
You can't just go start.
Yeah, but in this capital improvement.
Okay, if that's the case, if it's not landfill, you can't just start digging that money out.
That'd be cool though.
Yeah, it would be cool. That's,
Yeah.
everybody thinks, well, just use the landfill.
Yeah.
No, you can't.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, we're just about 9,000 short on what we need, and I really don't think there's any more cutting on this 41,000. You know, I mean, I could go back to EC and try to get a lower number from them, or, I mean, our material is what our material is, and that's 13.5. You're already getting a great deal. I got a quote to do the whole install, and it was 70,000+. And that was just somebody to come in and do the whole thing. But by the time you take out the configuration and stuff from my part, and then actually mounting the cameras, we can cut it down to 41. So
will these be a year before we get these, like?
it's gonna be, late summer is what I have on
Any
here.
word on what you ordered already?
Yeah, we're looking at the same thing, like July,
Okay.
June, July.
Okay,
Yeah.
so that's what I was thinking, these may be even later, so the quicker we
Well,
can get on it, the quicker we can.
Exactly, yeah. And ideally, we'd like to do this one first just because of need. I mean, you know, cameras here are important, cameras at the jail are essential. And that's something that we don't have at the moment.
I agree, I think we gotta have them over there.
Where do we get the other 9?
That's a Shonda question, we have to visit with her a little bit on how to make that work.
Okay.
What about, I know Tracy used some of his commissary money for hot water heater and that type of stuff, is that fund all gone? Tracy probably could answer that question.
Tracy'd have to answer that one, I don't know.
And he likes to keep some of it in there, but.
Sure. $9,000 is a significant amount. It's not nothing. So, but I mean, I'd really like to get. I don't know where we need to pull this from, but I'd like to get this sooner rather than later. Again, just based on need.
I think we probably do need to visit with Shonda a little bit though, try to figure that out.
Easy enough. All right. Next one is the 3 mile sign. It's kind of fallen into a little disrepair. So it is just plywood up there with like an adhesive, I don't know what you want to call it, like coating on it for that actual picture, you know? And what happened was in some of our windstorms, and this, you know, could be a year ago or so, the metal trim pieces blew off. And so the southeast corner, kind of toward Jeremiah's building there, is just open, and that plywood, you can see it, and so the adhesive is starting to, you know, come off, and it's basically just rotting away. And then we had some trouble with our antenna in that last snowstorm. It just kind of went kaput on us, so I couldn't update the sign like I wanted to. And basically, I just flipped the breaker enough. It went and started working again, so I don't know how long that'll last, but it's good now. Big thank you to Damien and Public Works. They're welding something up for us. We're gonna put some new angle around that sign, try to get it taken care of. I'm gonna try to take all that to like Midwest Manufacturing, the Gauss, and see if they'll paint it for us, maybe like powder coated or something. That way it's a little more durable, because that's what's on there. But I mean, we got all the scrap metal for free, which is really expensive right now. We're gonna put a little cage around the front of it. Still look pretty good, but just to keep motors and stuff out of that electrical. So we've had that happen twice now in my 6 months here. So really want to avoid that. But yeah, put that little cage in. Trying to do this as cheap as possible, guys, but we need to paint the bottom of that too. It's starting to kind of flake off and get kind of nasty. Maybe do a better job of trimming that up with a weed eater or whatever to keep it in a little better shape. So anyway, a little maintenance on the sign. We talked about Shelly. Yay, Shelly. Okay, multiple copier quotes. So currently we're using Galaxy. I talked a little bit about this on the 7th. What I would like to do in this next year's budget, I mean, we're basically stuck where we are now, but we're spending about $24,000. We spent $24,000 in 2020 on just copiers and printers and all this junk, and that is a chunk of money. And I think that is way higher than what it needs to be. And the reasoning is because every department pays their own way. And so if somebody prints real high, then you know their price tag is real high, or they get a new printer and that increases the price tag. My recommendation, or I guess somewhat of a solution to this, is if you put it under my budget for next year, we again just voucher one item, and I could kind of delegate what needs to be fixed and not fixed. Because right now Galaxy is being called out for a service call. They wanted to charge us $120 to move that printer from upstairs to down here, and I said no way. Like, well, Nolan and I'll get the printer from upstairs to down here. Don't worry about it. But I mean, I can only do with what I know, and they're getting called out for little things that I can probably fix, but say a department has an issue, they've just been calling Galaxy, and I'd like to reorganize how we do that. Plus our maintenance costs that we're spending each month.
Sounds like a good idea.
But don't, the clerks and treasurer's office have their own, they're not part of our, right, or are we? I'm just asking a question.
Just their own line item, don't you?
Yeah, they have their own line item. District.
Yeah, everybody does.
Yeah. But that's not the way it's done in other counties either. It's usually all under one from everybody that I've talked to. Whether it's just their finance department, if you want to put it there, that's fine too. I'm just asking for a bigger hand in them coming out to do maintenance on it, because I think we're getting railroaded, to be real honest.
They're charging to that.
And I've got, and I want to talk about this too. We're spending $24,000. Why not just go out to bid? I've got 3 companies that came down to look at our copiers already. One from Wichita, one from Medicine Lodge, and then Winfield, to take a look at this. It's big enough. We're spending enough money on this that people want it.
Yeah.
So why not just do a bid, and then somebody could say, hey, we're going to do your maintenance for $750 a month, as
Just like
opposed
anything
to
else, like the auditors and all that.
Yeah.
They probably ought to have that.
But like I said, I think we're wasting, to be honest, a lot of money here, and this is something that we need to fix. We're kind of stuck where we are until maybe we can rework the budget, or.
Do we have are we set up with an agreement now with them?
We're under maintenance with them, yeah.
How long?
Well, yeah. But we need to restructure this before you know,
Be
early
ready
summer,
for that.
and actually get these numbers in to move forward.
Right.
You know, and that's what I'm trying to do here.
I'd go with that, Josh. I think that makes sense to me.
Yeah, as going out to bid.
Yeah.
Okay.
You say that contract's for another year?
Yeah, and I mean, but what we need to do, we need to tell Galaxy that we're getting out of our contract and that they have to rebid for it. They're not just gonna automatically re-up it.
Gotcha.
And make sure that that goes through okay, and make sure all of our machines get out of that. And then from there, we get a compiled list of how many prints we did from last year, which we have a rough idea, but we just need a better idea. Add 10, 20% on top of that, whatever, just to cover our butts. And then from there, get a bid packet, send it out, say, hey, everybody, you know, July 1st, you're due, and, you know, get those 3 bids in that I talked about. With public, I bet we can get more than 3. I'm just saying, I made a couple of calls and I got 3 companies out here. We could get 20, I don't know.
Yeah,
But-
copy machine people love.
But spending $1,500, you know, this guy that I talked to in Wichita, he was $750, and we're spending twice that. So I know, you know, it's just a little crazy. And you do that 1,500, 12, that's $18,000. $18,000. We can save $9,000 just off the top. That
Do the
paid for.
departments though, do they know they can contact you to do things like the move?
Well, and I've tried to do that. I mean, Shelley was obviously great about that, but I mean, yeah, hit and miss, right?
Yeah.
And,
Well, I mean, that's what
and
we've been used to.
there's
so
little
far.
things that I can fix, right? I
Yeah.
mean, I'll turn the thing off and on and try to do a few things before we actually, I don't know copiers that well. I mean, I'm not going to claim to be a genius at it, but I'll turn it off and on and try to clean the roller before I call somebody out to look, you know, charge me $200 to get out here.
Did the breaker a few times?
Yeah.
Yeah, get that antenna working. That's intended.
It was 5 to be exact. But yeah, to give a little wiggle. So, yeah. Yeah, okay, if you guys good with that, I think we'll move forward. Do like a July deadline or something, and yeah, get this bid out.
Yeah.
So cool. Last thing I have is just, man, we did a lot of moving and stuff this past couple of months, so hopefully everybody's happy where they are and a little more settled.
I'm
gonna move.
Kind of trying to go back over there in Amy's office.
That's a plan. So, all right. So.
I'm good. You good?
Yeah, dude. Appreciate it.
Josh. Thank you.
Thank you, Josh.
Absolutely.
Not done playing my solitaire game.
Shonda, you are up.
I'll let you guys do your thing. Call me when you need me.
Okay.
I'm right here.
So I just have a few things before Shelley comes up. Just a reminder, auditors will be here tomorrow. We've sent them a few preliminary things to get started, so we'll see how that goes. They'll be set up in here. Hannah prepared the agenda this week, and she did a good job, so just doing a little bit of cross-training. So I imagine she may do it again this week, depending on how busy we are with the auditors. So that's that. And so for the meeting next week about the 400 and 800 radios, Chris Cintron would like to come, and she suggested I invite someone from the state of Kansas that has a little bit more knowledge on this subject. So just a few other people that'll be here as well. So
That'd be fine. We got Emma.
well, I have 6 confirmed coming.
Is Mark, is he confirmed?
He is not a confirmed. Okay.
Don't tell me.
Yeah.
They need to show up.
Yeah.
Well, I had a call from Mac, and his question was, how many times are we going to keep getting asked this if we keep saying no? He said, is it worth my time to even show up? Because I've already said we don't want it. So
Right.
Who's this?
Mark may feel that same way.
Well, I don't think Mark had a problem coming and listening to us, you know, brainstorming, but I think he was more concerned about how much it's gonna cost. He goes, I mean, they're not cheap. He goes, and we personally cannot afford it. That's when I told him about Darren having trying to get some assistance to the deal, and he was like, well.
Don't think about that. That's what we said, it was that ARPA money possibly helping them.
So at least, you know, like Darren said, they can come talk and, I mean, you gotta communicate.
Who's the one that didn't,
Okay, fire.
are they on 4?
Yeah.
Do you think you can get him here?
Well, I told him, I said, I think you ought to come, it ought to be here, and I said, I told them my piece too.
What time
I
is
don't
that
think you guys
next
can
week, you
afford it.
know?
Oh, I think it's 10.
Okay.
I'll have to look and double check.
I mean, so they're not gonna get another email. So
I
need
can
to-
send out a reminder.
Okay, yeah, you might
Later
do that,
this
and then I'll
week.
talk to them.
Okay.
Did they say how much a radio
Logan
costs?
Caps was gonna talk to
Did they have any-
him. He got that to happen or not, but he was gonna talk to him.
Did they say anything about how much a radio, did Mark say roughly, per radio, how much it worth?
I don't know per radio, he said something about, I don't think he said how many, or whatever, but it was like 50,000.
Okay.
But he was in the Jip Hill or somewhere, I couldn't really hear
He's close to having it too.
it over there too. Yeah.
You might check and make sure ARPA funds can even be used for that before we even suggest that, and then find out after we talk about it that ARPA can't be used for that.
We use it in the game.
Yeah. But to buy a purchase for the whole county, that's a county deal, that's not a city deal.
Right.
Right.
Check into it.
Yep, I will do that. Okay, that's all that I had. So I'll invite Shelley up to give her list of benefits for KMC.
Gentlemen,
Lady.
I am here to inform, not to persuade. There's the camera. Okay. Before I do, I want to let you know I did write a letter of support for both Harper and Anthony. They're both applying for base grants, which has to be done today, and they both have been working very diligent on trying to get all this done. And so it's basically going to be like for some infrastructure, some housing. There's about 3 or 4 different projects that will be affected in Harper, Anthony, and then the Community Foundation is also submitting a countywide grant. So anyway, and the Attorney General, Derek Schmidt, sends his hello.
Is he stopping by?
He was at the, that's why.
Didn't somebody invite him to stop in?
No, I even said, I go, I'm going back to, I gotta leave because he's a college buddy of mine. So,
Can't
anyway.
he just stop by and says,
I don't know, I said, Derek, I'm
Or
coming
Kelly
back.
wanted to stop.
I said, I'm talking to the commish, you wanna go with? He's like, no time for that.
Nope.
All right. Like David Letterman, top 10 reasons. No, I'm just kidding. Okay, so we did do our research and found out that out of the 105 Kansas counties, there are 2 currently that are not members of KAC. That would be Harper County and Chautauqua. For those of you who don't know where Chautauqua County, it is in southeast Kansas and includes the communities of Sedan and a bunch of other county or towns I don't know. Cedarvale. Good job. So our benefits are we get free webinars every Wednesday that are on various topics that pertain to county governing.
Okay, so how are you doing this? Let me ask you a question since you bring that up. How many employees use that?
I know Amy does.
Okay, Amy does, and those are some of the things that she sends out that she
Yes.
has everybody complete.
Yes,
Okay.
and they do, and to be honest, I actually heard from people that I didn't even know that worked for the county. Some guy that I didn't even know called me and he's like, hey, thanks for fighting for KAC, and I still don't really know where he works, but he was super nice. And I did actually have 2 regular Joe people that watched the meeting, and they also said that they feel like it's important. Anyway, but again, I am not influencing, I am stating fact. Amy is working on applying for an award from K-Camp that does our liability insurance, which is $126,000. And it awards annually that gives you part of your premium back. And according to Amy, if we were to get this award, which it part of the eligibility is being a member of KAC. It gives you part of your premium, and according to Amy, if we were awarded this thing from K-Camp, it would more than pay for the membership. You know also that I guess the lady from K-Camp contacted KAC because they were very concerned that Harper County had dropped our membership, and they were concerned that we were exposing ourselves to things by not being a member. We do have access to Jay Hall, who is the attorney for KAC, and he is a specialist, of course, on county issues. They are a legislative watchdog. As a matter of fact, right now there are several bills being worked in Topeka that would seriously intrude on local control, and at least 4, but Amy thinks it's closer to 6, and KAC is actively working to stop these. And Jay Hall, as I mentioned, the attorney, is providing education to the lawmakers, explaining the history and necessity of local control. Also, they provide monthly Zoom meetings for all Kansas counties that are members to just network, talk about issues, who's doing what, this and that. So, there's your tangible things that I came up with without really much effort. If I really would have tried, it could have really been good.
So thanks, Logan.
You got it. And the number one reason to belong to your Kansas Association of Counties is it's just always good to belong. Don't you like to belong? I like to belong.
So pass the hat around. Any department that wants to be involved puts in $10.
I told you, yeah, I put in money.
Yeah.
I think we need to have them people up there.
Not out of their department, out of their personal.
Oh yeah, you're
Fine.
not getting anything personal from me, no.
Okay, so that's what I'm saying. Pass the hat around. If the department head sees the necessity of it, then. Oh, and when I brought up to these guys, if we do, we're going to go over budget again. That's 2 years in a row that our department will go over budget. That doesn't say a whole lot for us in the county.
I don't want to be one of the 2 out of 105 counties that's not done it, though, I can tell you that.
But that stuff has to start somewhere. I mean, you can't, and I'm going to tell you, there are a lot of those little things in the past that we've cut out that were conveniences.
But I think there's so much benefit to this, from what I'm hearing.
Everything that we cut out had so much benefit to somebody somewhere.
But not at the state level.
Oh, I'm sure somebody would come up with a reason for it.
I think whether they're representing us loans or representing the rural part of the counties, not just Johnson County, in the big counties.
No, and I've heard that, and I absolutely hear that concern, and I,
But
I'd rather have a seat at the table than not be at the table
I
at
agree
all.
with you.
And so look at those boards that they have, though. Where are their representatives from? Are they the majority up that way?
But we have to have somebody, because we're not gonna send somebody to one of the meetings just to represent Harper County.
Well, and you know,
This is-
I would personally make the commitment that I will be more vocal and more involved so that Harper County and the smaller rural counties get more attention. Because and that's just my personal belief. If you're at the table, at least you're at the table and you're at least in part of the conversation. And the more vocal that you can be at the conversation, the better. And I absolutely have no problem being more vocal.
But I'm also
Agreed.
not gonna put our budget over because of this, so where do we get the money from other than our budget? Because I don't know that the commission budget is the one that should be coming out.
No, I agree.
So, that's where I'm at.
Well, so I don't mind taking $2,000 out of the community development budget for,
I don't like that either, because I've taken $2,000 away from potential businesses, people in the community that,
right. Well, so
If we find a way
to pay
to
for
my
it.
budget, I'm okay with it. I think we need to bid it. I thought about it for a week. I was gonna go 2 weeks, but you guys were, give me a day. But I think we can be there.
Yeah. Well, I'm just a firm believer that if you're,
As long as that the rural of Kansas is represented, not just the big people, but then again, from what I've heard in the legislation stuff they're doing now,
yeah,
if somebody wasn't there representing us, we'd be losing a lot. And this has been going on, even when Lynn was here, she watched the things all the time, and they're coming in and saying, hey, they'll do something about this.
Well, bring her in and ask her, because she was okay when we took it out of the budget. She had decided that that probably wasn't worthy of our time, even though she did participate in some of those things.
Oh, Melinda?
Yeah, she
Yeah.
helped us make that decision that she'd be okay with dropping that because she decided it wasn't worth.
I will see her tomorrow and I will have that conversation with her, but,
This ought to be talked about next week, because we gotta figure out.
yeah.
Okay, so
we're not
then
going
let me
to
ask you
commission.
this then. Where are you willing to pull that money from? And I'm not talking this budget year, I'm talking next budget year. Because I'm tired of hearing from people about how much money we spend in this place. And there are still things that I look at countywide that we don't have to have. And so where are you willing to find
You
that
just
money
spend
from
$3,000
some?
on a camera, you gotta what.
And that, I can justify pretty hot,
I can justify
because
this too.
that's gonna let me pull up on my phone and show you why that grader hasn't been out to your place in 3 months. Oh, wait, it has. And so that's gonna help me justify that.
You can have my phone back, I don't like.
See, and that's what I was gonna ask. Okay, so your phone, are you guys willing to kick those things back in? Because
I am,
I don't see, that helps me
Yeah.
know that, okay, so I don't mind spending the money. I want it to come from somewhere else and for that money to stop being spent.
I don't,
I'm
personally
so
don't use my
sick.
phone.
And people never
Your
hear
county
this.
phone?
Nobody,
I don't either.
nobody will ever hear this, nobody will ever care. All they're gonna ask is, why are you spending so much of my money? And why are you taking more money to operate and we see less services? And I guess I'm to that point, I'm so sick of money going to places in this county.
Right.
School, here, hospital, everywhere. I'm so sick of the money that we
Yeah,
spend
but on
here.
the other hand, Brian, I mean, those people that are griping about that kind of stuff, they don't know anything about this case. See,
No.
just like I did before I got in here,
No,
they have no idea what that can do for us.
but what
The
they see
benefits for it.
are the same things I saw before I come in here, is that you're constantly asking me
Oh,
for more
I
money.
know. I get that.
And they don't see the results. They don't see the impact that that money is having. And I see, and I understand even from my own farm, how much it costs to operate now.
Yep.
But
Well,
they
and
don't see
that's,
that.
I think you're absolutely true. It's easy to sit on the sidelines and tell people how you should do things better and this and that and the other. And until you actually sit in one of these chairs and have to make those tough decisions, you don't understand what it takes. And it is an art of compromise. And it is an art of, looking what we value, what we don't value. So I completely get it. I mean, when I was mayor, I thought, I'll be mayor and it'll be great and I'll get to kiss babies. But it's a lot tougher when you're sitting and when you put your name on a ballot to be judged and to sit in these chairs and have to make those decisions. I totally get it. And so like I said, I'm here to inform. I believe in this kind of stuff, but the bottom line is the bottom line. But I do think there are places where we're spending money that we don't necessarily need to. And you can absolutely have my county phone back. Do I get calls and things? Absolutely. But I have a personal cell phone that I'd be more than happy to reroute those calls to.
See, and I guess I see that too. I see the sacrifice and it's not a sacrifice, I didn't need it, but the raises. The three of us said, absolutely not going to do it for the three of us. And that was one place that we cut back for our department too. Nobody's gonna see that.
Right.
I'm not bragging, so anybody can see
No.
it, but I'm thinking those are the sacrifices. These guys giving up their phones, that's another sacrifice. It's
Right.
probably handy, that way somebody didn't have a hold of your personal phone.
I still get calls from, but I'm still on the road and business.
Yeah.
I still get calls on.
Yeah. And I think it is a case
I
by,
personally do not use mine.
no, and I think it is a case by case basis. I mean, I don't get a lot of calls on my cell phone, my county cell phone.
No.
So, maybe but certainly Commissioner Struble does. So, I mean, I think it's definitely a case by case thing. I think that's with every department. I think there are things that are being utilized in certain departments that aren't in others and various other things. I personally don't see a need for a camera in my office.
Yeah.
But if I move over to the annex, well then we need a camera over there. So, I mean, there's just different things.
Well, and I think this entity is so big
It is.
that there are places where there's probably waste that none of us have even thought about.
Absolutely.
You deal with it every day and you don't even think about it. But
Absolutely.
I think this is such a big deal that we could probably, if truth be told, dig deep, there's probably more that we could cut back there.
Yes, absolutely.
And I think that's what we really need to start doing, is we all need to sit together and figure out.
Yeah.
this
Maybe
is
we
how
just have a workshop where we come together and we just kind of talk about, okay, I do this every week or month or day or whatever, and it doesn't need to happen, or is there anybody else doing this? Is there a way to share that or whatever?
Just like example Josh did. talking about going out for bids and.
Yeah.
So that's my biggest thing on
that.
KC. I'm tired of spending money. I'm
Did you hear how much we was gonna be saving on that deal?
Well, and I'm not saying, to be honest, I don't know, well, I don't know that KAC is the best, most amazing organization, but it is a statewide organization of like-minded people and peers that are doing the same kind of work as we are trying to do, so therefore there is a great support system there. Could it lean more towards rural America and rural Kansas? Absolutely. But if we aren't at the table, then nobody's going to speak up for the rural counties, and that will be my goal as I'll start being the squeaky wheel.
Yeah, and I've sat through some of those meetings before, and you brought it up this morning, snooze fest.
Yeah.
Absolute snooze fest, and I just have no time and desire to leave my home
Right.
and the work that I have here
Well,
to go sit through some of that stuff.
And to be honest,
Because
I mean,
the benefit wasn't there.
I can leverage some of my connections too. The county manager up at Johnson County is a former Leadership Kansas buddy of mine. So
Aaron Otto?
No.
Who's that?
And, why'd you ask me your name? Penny Post Oak Ferguson. Do you know Penny?
No. I know Aaron, and he knows something of their county.
Yeah, Penny is the county manager at Johnson County. Super great gal. But, and so, maybe we host some type of, hey, Johnson County people, come look at what's going on in rural America. Maybe Harper County takes the lead on that and says, hey, we'd love for you to come visit us and see the issues that we face. And we're all in the same state, but we've all got to advocate for each other. Yeah.
Completely different.
Yeah, absolutely. So, and I think groups like Leadership Kansas and various other groups that are doing things of bringing people together to see, because when I was a part of Leadership Kansas, we had toured all over the state.
Yeah.
And we saw the rural parts and all that, but they're not reminded of that on a daily basis. And obviously they're going to take care of their own.
Well, sure. I would too.
I'm going to take care of my own. I'm going to fight for the Harpy County. So, anyway. All right, we'll figure out some fundage. Good. But I ain't writing you a check out of my account. It will not be pretty.
Be hard, huh?
You think you guys have budget problems?
I'm glad you're good friends with her that we can say those things.
If you think you guys have budget problems, I'd love to have you take a look at my account.
Thank you, Shelley.
You're welcome.
Thanks, John.
2 kids in college, 12-year-old that thinks he needs everything. Great times. See ya.
See ya.
Bye.
Shonda, are you done?
I'm done.
We're finished? Chickens are done too? We're finished?
Yeah.
All right, any questions for Shonda? You good? You good? I'm good. I guess we're finished. All right.
Yeah.
All right, thank you, Shonda.
Welcome.
Anything else today? You? What's going on?
Had fun to end today. I don't use it. It's been in this bag for probably 3 weeks.
You can't even play Snake on that phone? Or?
I just have no desire. One phone's plenty for me.
And that's what I don't know how you keep track of that stuff. I don't like to hardly carry mine around most of the time. It's in my pickup, really.
Snake on cell phones?
I think my kids had it one time on something.
You're a commissioner one? Or do you have one?
I've had it.
Oh, okay.
No, but Snake, my kids